Let's draw a rattlesnake. Rattlesnakes are really cool. Did you know that rattlesnakes get their name from the rattles that are at the ends of their tails? The rattlesnakes use their rattles to warn predators to steer clear and leave them alone. They really don't want to bite you. They would really just rather be alone, so they shake their tails to keep predators away so they don't have to bite. They also like to coil themselves up in an S shape and puff up by taking in extra air to scare away predators. If they do bite, they are venomous, meaning that they inject poisonous venom into the people they bite. Rattlesnakes range in size and in color and pattern. Most of them have a dark diamond-shaped pattern on their skin against a lighter colored background, and their head is kind of like a triangle. Rattlesnakes eat mostly small rodents and lizards. They only eat every couple of weeks or so. Rattlesnakes are found in many parts of the United States. There are 29 different types of rattlesnakes, but the three main types are the timber, the eastern diamondback, and the western diamondback. The eastern diamondback is the largest of all, measuring up to 8 feet long. Let's try to draw a rattlesnake. Be sure you have a pencil, a Sharpie, and some watercolors handy.
When you think about a snake, if it was all stretched out, it would be like that. And when you think of the way it moves, remember that when it curves, it's going to have some parts in front and some parts behind. So remember, to make your snake drawing look 3D, remember you're going to have overlapping lines. So because this line is in front, you're not going to see this piece of the snake, right? So your snake was like this, and it was coiled, 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 like that. Remember that you're going to see that this is closest to us, so we can't see what's behind it, right? So that is going to block that, okay? And if this went back behind here, you'd have another layer of blocking, right? So this is going to block this, this is going to block this, and that's going to be making your snake look really 3D, okay? So if you think of making a line, maybe it goes, you want to make it go like that, right? Then you're going to have the snake's head, and then you want to remember that part will be in front, and then that part will be behind, right? So in front, like that, and then behind, right? So that part you're not going to see. And even if it gets skinnier, that part's still going to be in front, and that part will be behind. And then if it went even further this way, that could go behind like that. Right, so that's how you're going to make your snake look 3D.
Let's do a little more practicing. Take out a new piece of paper and just draw a wavy line any which way to show the direction of your snake. Then choose one side to be your head, so think about that triangle-shaped head. Then you're going to make your body thicker by drawing lines around that one skinny line to give your snake some volume. Then at the end you can add your rattle. That's just a nice quick sketch. Try that one more time before we get launched into our regular snake. Take a new piece of paper and you're going to draw a different shape line this time. Then you're going to make your triangle-shaped head at one side of your snake. And then you're going to make 2 lines going around that midline, like it's kind of like the middle of the road. And remember, your snake is going to get fatter as it gets towards the middle, and then it's going to get skinnier as it goes towards the edge or to the end. Then you can make your little rattle shape, and there you have it. Now we're going to start with a longer snake study with a lot more detail. So get out a new piece of paper. This time you want to use a nice thick piece of drawing paper or watercolor paper if you have it. You're going to start by thinking about where you would like the head. Make a little circle or a light triangle for the head, and then draw a light curvy line to show the direction of the body. I had this image of a rattlesnake in mind when I drew the direction of my snake. After you draw that thin line to show the body, you're going to then start making more details on the face. So here's an image of a face that I looked at. You can make it up, or you could look at the same photograph that I looked at. Notice all the details and the basic shapes that you see. Then you're going to start by drawing a curved shape in the middle of the head, sort of like an upside down U. Then you're going to draw another curved shape underneath that, and that's going to make the mouth of the rattlesnake. It's looking straight at us. Then you're going to make 2 lines at the top to show the top of the head. So it looks kind of like a triangle with a curved line at the top. Then you can make 2 U shapes for the eyes. And then you're going to make 2 lines to show their horizontal pupils. It's already starting to have a little personality. Now you're going to make these sort of puffy curved shapes to show the eyelids or the structure above the eye. And then you can follow along with me to continue to add details to the face. Or you can add your own details. Now I'm going to make 2 more curved lines on either side of that first U shape, and then I'm going to make 2 dark lines to show the nostrils. Now I'm going to start thinking about that whole black forked tongue that the rattlesnake has. So I'm going to make a long line coming down with 2 little curves at the end of it, and then I can make the bottom of the chin. Now you can start thinking about giving some volume to the body of the snake. So remember, you had that nice curved line to show the direction. Now you're going to make 2 lines on either side of that line, almost like you're making the road, and that first line you made is the middle of the road, the curved line in the middle of the road, or the dotted line, yellow line. So now I'm just going to keep going around, remembering what we talked about in the beginning, how the things that are in back you're not going to see. So the snake is going to overlap itself as it curves around. So you can just follow along with me again, or you can make up your own shape of your snake. You just want to remember that it's going to be curvy and overlapped, and it's going to get fatter in the middle, and it's going to get skinnier as it goes towards the end. And then you want to make sure you leave room for that rattle at the end. And this time I'm making a snake with a rattle sort of going straight up, because I think there must be a predator and it's trying to scare it away. So the rattle looks kind of like a soft serve ice cream cone, only a little bit skinnier. So it has these little segments and it's hollow. From the rattle, I'm going to continue to draw the end of the snake, so it's going to be skinnier than the middle portion. And I'm just going to keep going around, making that rattle look like it's in front of the piece of the snake behind it. So these are all some really great tips to make your snake look really 3D. And a really nice way to learn this is to you can copy exactly what I'm drawing, or you might want to try something a little bit different. You can erase any lines that you didn't need. And then you can start sketching out the patterns. This is going to be a diamondback rattlesnake, so I'm making these diamond shapes all along. But remember, we saw a lot of different types of patterns, so you can make any types that you want. I'm going to make a few spots as well as the diamond shapes. Noticing that the diamonds will be bigger as the snake is bigger, and then the diamonds will get smaller as the snake is smaller. When you're working with your pencil, you want to remember to start really lightly, because that way it makes it really easy to erase if you have to erase. Take your time. Don't be in a rush. Once you feel confident with how your snake looks in pencil, you can take out your Sharpie and you can start going over your pencil lines with Sharpie. Take your time. Just remember that this part of the video is going a little faster than I actually drew it. But you want to take your time and go over each and every pencil line with your Sharpie. Once you feel confident with the shape of your patterns on your snake, you can start to add scales. So you're going to add your scales. I like to use a skinny Sharpie. If you have a skinnier one, you can, or you can also use the same Sharpie for your scales. But you're just going to make U shapes. You could also use a pencil for your scales. It doesn't really matter. I personally like them to be a little bit lighter than the lines I used to describe the snake. So I'm just going to go ahead and make some U-shaped lines over and over in a repeated pattern, so it will look like snake skin. Did you know that the rattle on a snake gets bigger with every time the snake sheds its skin? That's a really cool fun fact. But anyway, you're going to just keep going along on the body, and you're going to keep adding all of the shapes to show the scales in the snake skin. Again, just remember this part of the video goes a little faster than I actually drew it. But you don't have to draw each one that carefully. You can just kind of just keep going and take your time, but you don't have to be crazy about making each scale look perfect. Now you can think about drawing a background. I'm going to imagine that my snake is on a mountaintop and there's lots of mountains going in the distance behind it, and I think I'm going to make a sun rising behind it as well. You can make your snake anywhere you'd like to make it. Inside a cave, on a rock, in the grass. You can make any kind of background that you'd like. So after I sketch in my background, I'm going to start using my watercolors to add color. Remember, you don't want to use too much water or it will make it a little frustrating. You want to have your water pail, you want to have a paper towel, you want to have some brushes, and your watercolors. So I like to start by painting in my background first. So remember that this part of the video will be going faster than I actually painted it. But you want to take your time, making sure that you think about using different shades, whatever it is that you're painting behind. I'm using different shades of green to show the green mountain that it's sitting on. Maybe it's just a little hill. Then I'm going to use different shades of green and blue to show the mountains going into the distance to give my drawing some depth. You can make whatever background you'd like, but I highly suggest painting the background first. After you feel good about your background, you can start doing details on your snake. I'm making my snake sort of brown and yellow and gold. Remember that snakes vary in color from gray to black to golds to yellows. Some rattlesnakes even have some pink on them. So I'm using darker shades around the edge of my rattlesnake and lighter shades in the middle to make it look a little bit more 3D. So take your time, let your paint dry in between layers unless you want it to all blend together. So just take your time, don't use too much water. Make sure you use your paper towel to change colors by wiping off all the paint when you switch colors. And just use different shades of yellows and browns and reds. Making sure you add little details like the eyes and using darker shades around the edges to make it look more 3D. And just remember to take your time. You can even take a break and let it dry and then go back in and add some more details. But you want to just realize when to stop because you don't want to overdo it. And you also want to realize when you think you could add a couple more details that would just make it look really cool. The biggest trick is to not use too much water when you're using your watercolor paint, so that way you can control it a little bit better. You could also use colored pencil or marker or crayon if you don't want to use watercolor, but I think you'll get to really love using watercolor because you can do so many things with shading and color. So here is my first rattlesnake. I can't wait to see yours. Remember, that's just one way to draw a rattlesnake. There are so many different ways you could do it. Here's a really fast version of another way to draw a rattlesnake. If you'd like to use this to follow along and just stop as you'd like to in order to catch up because it goes really fast, you can do that. But remember, it's the same exact idea as the first one. Just drawing the triangle head, the shape of the snake, making it fatter. Use your pencil to show all the markings. Go over all the markings and the lines with Sharpie. Make your scales. Add your color. Make your background. This one's sitting in some spring flowers. This one is 20 times faster than it normally would be if I showed it in real time. But take your time and have fun. And now you are an expert at painting and drawing rattlesnakes. Keep on drawing.